Hello everyone, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to share with you number 275 of the Catechism with respect to God's purpose, and how with respect to the story of Job, the idea that, okay, he wanted to go his way, but that the Lord commanded him to go in another direction in his life to serve for a greater purpose, to think, okay, how is his story relatable to us, for all of us, whether we're young or old, middle-aged, whatever, and the part of our lives when we catch and listen to this video. So let me share with you number 275 of the Catechism and see where this takes us. So 275 of the Catechism states the following, and it's in brief. With Job, the just man, we confess, I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. So the purpose of God. Can God develop a purpose at specific times of humanity? And the answer is yes. And the thing is, how do you know that? I would argue, okay, can anyone say, oh, has anyone ever seen God? Has anyone ever seen the miracles? Has anyone ever heard of Jesus and all these other things from the Catholic faith? But then even beyond that, in even our just the natural world, has anyone ever seen a miracle? I would argue that people know, and that people don't want to admit these things, and that they're afraid of being called out and ridiculed by society. And then that connects even to God's purpose in this interesting way, where you think, okay, God will protect those whom he is revealing the mysteries to. And so for those he's protecting, okay, maybe people say, oh, those are the lunatics, those are the people who live on the outskirts, the people who don't want to socialize with people in society. Okay, you could call those people even the mystics. No one wants to talk with the mystics because we have other things to take care about. We have to take care of our families, our friends, get the money, get to our practices with sports, and just be so busy, go to parties and socialize. But you see, that's the thing. Even in a busy world, God's purpose is still working. That's a subliminal action that you have to keep in mind. That God's work is always in the working behind the scenes. And that no matter how much fun people have, or no matter how much people feel like they're depressed and missing the bigger thing that people are trying to sell other people in the media and society through whatever message or product, that God's work is always happening. And that is the beautiful thing when you look at across the world, all the heroes that are taking part in their communities, going up against the troubles, against the villains, against the people who are not necessarily doing even evil, but they just are not guided to do the right thing. And so you wonder, okay, like Job, all right, are we going to go and respond to God's call to serve a greater purpose? And you think, okay, well, what about you, Mike the MC? Weren't you about to do anything with your career? Well, yeah, I've done many things. I was about to even be a priest, or other parts of my life that were so profound. But through all those changes in my life, all those changes were meant to serve a greater idea. And so if you think about it, if you are really committed to God, you're going to follow him and just ignore all the naysayers that are really trying to put their stamp on you. Because you recognize your stamp, original stamp, the image of your face belongs to the Creator. Because the Creator made my face, your ideas, your ability to think, your ability to connect, your ability to share and have a good time, talk with other people, to socialize. And you think, okay, now where does then this idea of evil come into play? How does that go into God's purpose? Well, the thing is this. Is the world evil, or is it just naturally neutral, right? Now people go into, okay, what's ethically right about the idea that we see the world? And so that's the thing. How does God's purpose connect to all of this? Okay, so if you're from a religious perspective, I would argue that God's purpose is trying to connect everybody in some place, somehow, whether people know each other, whether they have the technology to share resources, or people to advocate on behalf of others. You always wonder, okay, where are the connections that are happening in life? And so look at the people who are connecting these things to people, the resource people, the ones who are public, the ones who are actually doing things that are maybe behind the scenes, that are being like the person on the phone, the person that's connecting the events to others, right? And you think, okay, it's not always the flamboyant person that is the hero. Sometimes it's the person behind the scenes that is the hero that we don't give enough credit to, right? Clap in the hand for the janitor, right? Just think, okay, with no clean bathroom, I mean, you wouldn't want to go in those bathrooms anymore, right? Or you think, okay, the person who takes care of the trash, okay, everything would be overflowing. The essential needs is what I'm trying to draw out from this video. So from the essential needs, you'll see God's purpose. And you think by essentially doing what has to be done each day, breathing, taking care of our family, our kids, going out to do work, find a better job, making sacrifices, you'll see what matters to you and what you have to uphold in your life. And those are wonderful ideas to consider, especially when you're trying to figure out what to do with your life. So don't give up on yourself. Consider what you can accomplish, what we can work together on, what we can use on this channel to help other people, inspire others to be great. And when you recognize that a greater sacrifice like Job is seeing here to follow God's purpose will lead him to a happiness, you won't be disappointed. You'll find that peace, I guarantee, once you recognize, wow, I served a greater purpose in my life now that I made it here to heaven to see what it was. Thank you, Lord, for not giving up on me. Now I trust in you. I always wanted to know what that source was that has given me that protection to keep going. Thank you, Lord. And now let's go forward and give that idea some greater thought. Things to consider. Alright everyone, I hope this video finds you well today with number 275 of the Catechism. Don't give up on yourself. Recognize that your purpose may change over time. People may call you out, but you know what you got to do, and you know what has to be accomplished for everybody around you, the sacrifices to make in order to make things work. Thing is real. Life is full of hardships, but you can make things work. So don't give up on yourself and don't let the critics take you down. Be strong, take care of yourself, and set boundaries. Alright everyone, I hope this video finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.